What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today I'm here to talk about Star Wars The Bad Batch Episode 8 Reunion. People, how freaking awesome has this show been? Every single episode just never ceases to amaze me. Going on new freaking adventures. We usually, in almost every episode, end up getting character debuts or returns, whether it be Saw Gerrera, Fennec Shand, Trace and Rafa, Rex, or as we got in this episode, Cad Bane. And Toto 360 as well. Don't forget about him. But before we talk about that, you guys, and we will talk about it, so make sure you guys click down in the timestamps below if there's certain discussion points that you want to listen to. But also make sure that you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If this is your first time watching, I do a lot of Star Wars content here on the channel. I like to react to fan-made Star Wars content, whether it be fan films or tribute videos. I also like to do what we're doing here today, and that's talk about the latest episodes of The Bad Batch, and I've done it with other Star Wars shows as well. I also do it with Marvel shows, and I'm currently doing it with Loki, so make sure you guys go and check those videos out if you haven't already. But you guys, let's talk about this episode, because like I said, this is another good episode. I came down before, so to kind of peel back the curtain, right? I live in an apartment. I am up at like 2 a.m. in the morning to watch the episode, because that's when the episodes come out in my area, and I can't be loud in my apartment, so I gotta come down to my car and record it. And on the way down to my car, I just could not stop crying tears of joy because of how much I just freaking love this show. It really does take me back to the days of when I would sit down and watch Clone Wars every week, and I get that here with this show as well. I just, words cannot describe to you guys how much I'm loving this right now. So the episode was called Reunion, and I first jotted down in my notes, I'm like, okay, if this episode's called Reunion, that means we're getting Crosshair, aren't we? Sure enough, we did. It's been a while since we've seen Crosshair in this show, so I'm glad that we were finally able to get him back here and being like the antagonist for our heroes. We also got at the beginning of the episode, we got Wrecker training Omega on how to disarm bombs, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, there's no way Wrecker actually did an explosive, did he? I'm like, oh, but you know what? It is Wrecker. He probably would, right? Because he is kind of crazy like that. But no, it ended up being a smoke bomb, and Wrecker was even like, what, you think I'm that crazy? And I just kind of laughed at it. I love Wrecker. I don't care what anybody says. You can think he's not funny. If you don't think Wrecker's funny, then I don't know, just screw you. He's still my favorite member of the Bad Batch, even though, like I said, Hunter has gotten up there. And I love Omega too, obviously. I love them all, honestly. So I did kind of wonder, I'm like, okay, why are these guys still here? Like, they did what they needed to do. They removed the chips from their heads. Rex had left. Why are they still there? And Hunter, you know, brings up the point of, well, this cruiser hasn't been looted yet, so we have a chance to get some stuff and earn some money. And I'm like, you know what? I guess that does make sense, because it gives them the chance to pay off Sid, even though I still think Sid is playing them, and I think that could still be a factor later on. But that's regardless. Echo was very much against the idea. He was like, well, why didn't we just go with Rex? And Hunter was like, well, but we're not going on his path. We got our own path. And Echo's like, wait, but what path? We're soldiers. I almost wonder if, given what we know now at what happens at the end of the episode, I wonder if they're gonna go back and get Rex's help now that Omega has been taken. So clearly the Kaminoans hired Fennec. They were talking about bounty hunters before and how, like, they need to get Omega back because this whole mission on Braca could ruin their plans, because Crosshair's going there with the intent on killing them. So it definitely makes sense why they hired who they hired at the end of the episode, and again, we will get to that shortly. We got a lot of Bad Batch versus clones in this episode. The clones were, luring the Bad Batch into a trap several times because Crosshair knows them so well, and there was a part where Omega started trying to explain to Crosshair, this isn't your fault, this isn't you. And then Crosshair's, yep, everybody shoot at the kid. And then, like, I love how Hunter immediately just steps, like, right in front of Omega and says, no, your issues are with me, not with her. Echo and Tech devise a plan to, like, start the cannons up and create havoc. They end up getting away, but then later on they get caught in a trap within the engine, and they got to work their way out of that. They managed to do so, and I'm like, oh, they got separated. Oh, are they going to get captured or something like that? And they end up going towards their shuttle, right? Or I think somewhere towards the hangar, and all the clones are dead, and I'm like, wait a second, the clones are wait, what? Who would have done that? That wasn't the Bad Batch, clearly, because they're not there. And part of me thought like, oh, are we gonna get Cal Kestis? Because we know that Cal Kestis is here, and I know he would have only been a kid, but he could have still been, you know, trying to survive on his own. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? It's probably a bounty hunter. It's probably Fennec. And then you hear the voice, and I didn't recognize the voice, but I'm like, oh, that's not Fennec Shan. That's definitely a different voice. So it's probably just some random, holy shit, it's Cad Bane! Cad motherfucking Bane, people. We haven't seen Cad Bane in so long. Like, I feel like the last time we saw him, I think, was Clone Wars Season 4. How many years has that been? That's been way too many, you guys, that we've gone without seeing Cad Bane on screen. I'm so glad that we got him back here. It was so cool to see. When they did the stare off, and by the way, I love the music that they were playing when Bane was there. It was like an old Western type music, which kind of fits the character of Bane because he is like a Western, you know, Lone Ranger type character, so it definitely made sense, and I really liked it. So when they started doing the stare down or whatever, and they were going to shoot each other, I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. I feel like Bane might have a bit of an edge, but I also feel like Hunter could stand a chance. Like, and then I started thinking, oh, are they just going to do the deleted scene between Boba and Cad Bane here, and this is maybe how Cad Bane dies or something like that? I mean, I know like they just brought him back, but I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is how this ends. And then no, Bane just straight up shoots him and Hunter misses, which, you know, I guess like at first I was like, oh, what, Hunter missed completely? But then like my brain immediately just went, of course he did. It's freaking Cad Bane. Cad Bane is so quick and so precise. Like he's one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy, if not the best. So it makes perfect sense that Hunter was not able to beat him. It wasn't like Fennec where there was sort of, you know, like, oh, if Fennec would have done this or whatever, if she could have made a mistake and Hunter would have had her. No, when it comes to Cad Bane, Hunter stood no chance. And I didn't think that Hunter was dead there because I'm like, they're not going to kill Hunter off this way, are they? And for a moment, I did kind of get a little bit scared, but I'm like, okay, this is, you know, he's probably still alive. And then what we see in a second, which we'll get to, he's definitely still alive. But then Bane ends up stunning Omega. Omega tries to go for her bow or whatever, but then Toto knocks it out of the way, which Toto 360 back as well, pretty cool. I couldn't tell if Seth Green was voicing him though. I don't think that was Seth Green. I could be wrong though. I didn't check the credits on this one. So Bane ends up capturing Omega and of course is gonna bring her to the Kaminoans. Kaminoans made a smart choice hiring Bane, probably a very expensive cost, but also they were very desperate to get her back. So to hire Bane, it made sense. I found the line interesting when Bane said, you know, when you kill one clone, you learned how to kill them all. And I'm like, yeah, but you're dealing with a whole different breed, man. You got the Bad Batch right here. You got Hunter. Hunter's gonna put up a fight. And then I'm like, oh, no, wait, no, Bane just got him too. And like I said, it makes perfect sense on why it happened. Bane is like one of the, if not the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. So they had this really cool shot of when Hunter starts to wake up, they were showing it through the perspective of his visor, which I thought was super cool. And first you see Wrecker come in and be like, hey, where's Omega? Where did she go? And then you have what I would assume to be Hunter, or not Hunter, Echo or Tech dragging Hunter to the ship. And you could see Wrecker holding off the clones with his blaster. It was a really cool shot. I don't think they've ever done anything like that in animation before, but I really liked that. We've seen a first-person perspective like that before from Agent Callus and Rebels, but nothing nothing like we saw here. So then the episode basically ends with Hunter telling the Bad Batch that Omega was captured by a bounty hunter, and now they gotta find out how to find her, you know? This show is very much reminding me of The Mandalorian right now, especially of season 2, because it's like, okay, we get about halfway through the show, and now we've gotta, you know, baby Grogu gets captured, Omega gets captured, now we gotta go find her, or him in the case of The Mandalorian. But as I was saying before, you guys, I freaking love this show. I hope y'all have been enjoying it too, and let me know in the comments if you are, because each and every episode, you guys, has had a good adventure, had a good story behind it, in some cases have characters come in from other parts of Star Wars that have interacted with the Bad Batch and made for interesting character bits and developments. We've seen character development just within the Bad Batch itself, and them with Omega and their bonds with her, and them teaching her how to do things and being, you know, more like an adult, if anything. And it's the Clone Wars animation style, and we're getting an episode per week. It's absolutely amazing. To kind of peel back the curtain a little bit more, you guys, these past like episodes, like episode or two, and even this goes with Loki as well, I've been recording them like as soon as after I've done watch the episode at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I usually only end up getting a few hours of sleep at night, but for me, it's so worth it. One, because I love being a content creator and making content for my channel. So for me, it's so worth it, especially because I have to go to work and stuff too. Like this isn't a full-time gig for me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I only do this because I love it right now. I hope one day that I can make a career out of this and make money out of this. But for now, you know, everybody's got to start somewhere. And this is where I choose to start right now. And with all these Bad Batch episodes, you guys, like, it's stuff like this that just continues to ignite my passion for Star Wars. It's what Clone Wars did for it back in the day when I was a kid. You know, I watched the Star Wars movies and I thought like, oh, I wish there was more. And then there was more. There was Clone Wars, and it was new Star Wars content every week. And then Clone Wars got canceled. That annoyed me. But we got Star Wars Rebels, and that was something that I really enjoyed. And now having this Bad Batch show, you guys, has really just it hasn't reignited, because I've always had a passion for Star Wars, and Star Wars has always been my #1 thing. But this show has just continued to remind me why I love Star Wars so much. Man, we getting really deep today, and I'm really pumped right now, you guys, because this show has just gotten so good. We've reached the halfway point with it, so we've got another 8 episodes to go yet. Hopefully this goes for a season 2, because I think that would be super cool. If Dave feels it necessary to end it after 1 season because of where he plans on taking the story, I completely trust his judgment, so whatever he decides, he has my full support. But the passionate Star Wars fan in me is saying, please do more. What do you guys think of this show? Am I the only one who feels a certain type of way because of this show? Let me know if you guys feel the same, if you guys have any similar passions for this show. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode, what you thought of Cad Bane coming back after everything that we have seen so far. What do you guys think? Where do you think Crosshair is gonna go? Because he was all bandaged up at the end there. Where do we think Crosshair is gonna go, you guys? Like, are we gonna get him in like a different outfit now or something like that? I don't know. Very interested in seeing what you guys think. Where do you guys think this show's gonna go? Do you think we're gonna get Omega back? What do you think they're gonna do with Omega in the meantime? Is it gonna be something kind of like what we saw with Grogu and Mando, where they were trying to extract his blood for clones of Palpatine, or at least what we thought would be Palpatine, I think, or Snoke, something like that. But maybe they're gonna use her blood to make more clones. Maybe something like that. Let me know what you guys think. And be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video around, as that really helps support the channel. And I will see you guys next time.
This is the way.
This is the way.